Hey everyone, I wanted to go ahead and cut a release of add-on docs and just make a quick video showing how I do this so we can start to figure out how to make it so other people can release it and I don't block releases anymore. So first thing I'm going to do is come to the repo, come down here to the build and just make sure that master is passing. So I'll click that build link right there and I'll see there's the latest pull request. Let's just go ahead and check master, make sure it's good. And looks like it is. So next is going to be to go ahead and cut a release. This is the easiest part, really. Current release is click on releases, 0615. Well, basically we have to figure out what the next version should be. So I'm pretty sure there weren't any breaking changes here. To check this, I want to look at everything from 615 to master. So I'm just going to go up here and go /compare. And then 0615, 1, 2, 3 to master. And this is going to be what I use to create the change log as well. So we're going to go back to the beginning here in October. Label is located, replace UmberCLI Tailwind with PostCSS and Tailwind CSS. This should all be forwards compatible. Dependencies, let's take a look at this. Few breaking changes if we've done another PR. So he kept out the breaking changes here. So that's fine. Refactor route anchor jump system. Change schedule once scheduled. Dependabot. Enhancement. Support standalone docs apps. So again, this is like the most labor intensive part of this, and it would be good if we did, I don't know, conventional commits, and so we could just look and say, oh, that commit message has break in front of it, breaking, so we know. I haven't really gotten to this point with any of my projects yet. It's just something that I've never done, but it would be really good to figure out. So if other people are doing something that works, other people in Ember, Robert or Ed or anything, we should just copy what they're doing. Snippets support both invocation, hide function from the docs. Bug fix. Looks like a bug fix. Passing, error, looks like a bug fix. Update yarn lock, double quotes everywhere. Example, upgrade Tailwind. Again, all internal. Okay, so that means there's no breaking changes here. So what we can do to actually release this, now that we know the version, just as a patch version basically, come to package.json, edit this, and go ahead and bump this to 616, and I'll just grab this, and that's what I use for the commit message, vo.v tag basically. Commit that, and that's going to kick off a build, but this hasn't been released yet, so what we want to do is go to releases, draft a new release. We want it from master here. We want it to be this, vo.6.16, and that's it. So we publish that, and I just click publish. And this is going to kick off, Travis right now is basically doing 2 builds, because one is that master just got updated with this latest commit here, and the second is that we tagged this SHA, this commit, and so tags get a separate build in Travis, and then you'll see in our Travis file that we, have a separate job here, which is on tags, deploy, publish on tags true. So this is the thing that runs and will actually take care of publishing this to NPM. So Travis has permissions to publish to NPM. I never publish from my computer. This way, I can just release my projects just using the GitHub GUI just like that. And so anyone who has access to this repo can basically trigger an NPM release, so we don't have to set up keys or anything like that. So now we need to actually add release notes here. And you can see I did this here, but then we had some releases here that were just, we got lazy, or, we weren't being really careful, and we just got lazy. So normally this is kind of how I do it. I think I got this from the Simple Labs folks, but just try to release, put the features here, and then you'll see also the way we have the changelog set up is that it really just points to the releases page, and that's so that we don't need to commit to the repository to update the releases. And I got this from React, I think, or Redux, and I just like this because some people expect a changelog to exist, but now that even if they come here, they know to just go look at releases. And I find that this works pretty well. So I'm just going to start by copying this just so we can get some of the structure. I'll just edit this to get all this formatting. Come back to this release, and then we can start filling this out. So I'm going to start with the oldest one here, and we always try to use pull requests, so that means you can just go through here, kind of command click all the pull request numbers, and these are going to be the line items for the release. So I'm going to open all these. I guess I just that was like a little thing. That's fine. I guess these are bug fixes, so if we're being careful, we'll do all this stuff. Grab all these PRs. There's a lot here because I've been putting this off. And now we can close this right here and just go through these one by one. And I just like to, you can see here how we do it, link it, so be more explicit where label is located. This is just an enhancement, I guess. So it would look like this, PR, and then I just try to grab this so I don't have to think about too much about this. This is really just a listing, right? And bug fix is like if it's literally fixing a bug. I mean, maybe this is a bug fix, right? So yeah, this looks like a bug fix. So I'll move this down to bug fixes. Delete this from the template here. And yeah, that's basically it. So then come here. This is an enhancement. So yeah, this could certainly all be automated, right? Upgrade dependencies. I just do this as like internal because it shouldn't affect anybody. So, but it's still good in case someone's having an issue and they just upgrade it to be able to see this in the list. So what is usually internal looks like, I think it is like the house. Something like this. I think it's like this one. And so this is going to be what the release looks like. Upgrade project dependencies. Refactor route anchor jump system. It's like internal. Internal. Dependabot add a config. Sure. Internal. Enhancement, add config options to indicate the file extension. Okay, so this is an enhancement. Possible to indicate the extensions to look for snippets. This PR has the option to use the functionality. I add a new section in the doc. So this is great. Because there's so they added docs as well. So sometimes people add features they don't add docs. I've tried to get better about not merging PRs that add features or modify public API until they include the docs changes, but this person did. So this means, and you want to point them, this is like a feature, so ideally you want to point them to the point in the docs where they can actually know how to use the feature, right? So if we go to the website, right here, this is going to be defaulting to 615. So this is in master and not release. So this is not going to be on that site, but we can actually just use this to change it to master. And it looks like it's under introduction build options. There it is. And so right here, snippet extensions is where the docs are. So we can just come here and say, add config option, indicate the file extensions, and then we can say, read the docs for this feature. And that way, in the release notes, someone can just click that and get right there. And I guess we could link to the version, you know, once everything builds, this will have a version of 6.15. Looks like there's a bug here in the sorting. It'll have a version of 6.16, so ideally that would be better to use that. So maybe I'll just go ahead and do that really quick. So what is the version? Instead of master right there, it'll look like something like versions and then the tag. So why don't we just change that here? VO.6.16, like that. Cool. Support standalone docs apps. This is definitely a big feature. Support standalone docs apps. I'm just going to update this so I don't lose any of this work. And do we have any docs here? Okay, there's like a lot going on here. And I don't know if this was documented. Let's close all the changes and see. So if this was documented, it would be somewhere in tests dummy, right? And it would be under like dummy templates or something like that. If we were to look at this one that we just looked at, the documentation would be test dummy app pods, and it would look something like that. So this one does not have documentation. So this is, you know, not ideal. So we need to document this. I consider this a bug. So what I'm going to do is add an issue. And I also haven't been really triaging these because I just haven't been working on this project as much, but I try to triage. When I used to work on this more, I try to triage every issue so that people can focus on the bugs first, because I think those are the most important. We can see there's like definitely some bugs here. So, but this is, I think, the most responsible thing to do in this case, which would be document separate standalone docs apps. Document standalone docs apps feature. And I'll say this PR added a feature to use a separate app to document separate app a standalone app for your add-on docs site, but did not include documentation. We need to add documentation for this feature. And I'll just go ahead and mark this as a bug and go ahead and submit this. And then in the release notes, I'll just say, you know, see the PR for how to use this feature. Okay. Again, I've tried to get better about not letting this happen because it just creates basically a burden for people maintaining to write the docs. And here you can see the docs are split between like, this isn't going to be important. The migration step is going to be important. So really for this feature to properly be, you know, merged and everything, it should have been documented, because I consider that part of the feature probably the most important part, because no one knows that this exists right now unless you happen to see this in the changelog. So yeah, that's just something that could be improved on in this project. I would say that that's higher priority than like adding new features for sure. Okay, this looks like a bug fix. So this is going to be bug fixes. I think you can even do like number 421, and that will link to it. So that might make it even easier to write these. 421. So I can just like copy the, okay, this is just a little fix internal. Hide function from docs. Just grab this. Don't assume it, okay, just as internal. Don't assume existence of add-on directory. Fix copy snippet button. Bug fix. So copy this, it's 430. So we should be able to just 430, boom. This is 428, bug fix, 428. Docs hero. Looks like there's a bug here. So, what was that? 426. Let's update this. Internal. 433. We should get prettier on this project. This is internal. 432. This is docs. So docs 434. 435, upgrade to Tailwind. This is internal. I keep forgetting these 435. 436, upgrade. So this is just internal. Major version bump with some breaking changes. Notable change here is that they don't supply syntax highlighting on the box. We had a highlight, so it's just a matter of wiring everything together. But I don't think, yeah, it broke this API, but it doesn't break any of add-on docs' public API. No changes for add-on docs consumers, right? So, yep, this is internal, 436. Support non-block docs and invocation. In 421, we landed support for using angle bracket invocation with docs demo and snippet, but unfortunately didn't handle non-block usage. It looks like a bug fix. I don't think this is a feature or anything that needs to be documented. It's just that this wasn't working as you would expect as an Ember developer when used in non-block forms. So I think it's a bug fix. So 441, bug fix, 441. And that's it. So I'm going to save this. And there we go. And that's really what releases should look like. And obviously, if we were doing this more often, it would be faster because they would be smaller. But this way, you know, when people update their projects, they get a dependabot PR. They're going to have a link right here, and they're going to see all this stuff. And so they're going to know, okay, here are the new features. No breaking changes I need to worry about, etc. So now that that's good, this is one weird part of my workflow, which I would be happy to hear ways to improve, is that, you know, this release exists right now. So if you happen to come to the site right now and see it, you're going to be like, oh, 6.16 is the latest release. But if we go check NPM, it's not actually true yet, I'm guessing. NPM is still 6.15, right? And that's because Travis is still doing its thing. So if we come back to add-on docs and look at the build, we should see those two builds running, or maybe there's just one right now. Build history. And it looks like it hasn't even gotten here yet. So, you know, maybe Travis is backed up feeling a little slow. But yeah, master is definitely updated. So typically I would come here and expect basically like to already see master in the process of being built or already building. You know, this one looked good, the last master build. That was 25 days ago. So again, because I haven't been working on this, another thing I could have done was just rebuild master and make sure it was okay. Sometimes due to transitive dependencies, it can break even if the last build of master was good, because we have some versions of our test suite that run against floating dependencies, and those can change basically at any moment, which is why we try to keep the yarn lock file updated. Again, that's another part of this process I could use some guidance on to improve that if anyone knows. But I'm guessing that this will all work just fine. I'm surprised it hasn't kicked off yet. And I'm guessing that's just because Travis is backed up or the GitHub API is slow or something like that. But yeah, usually this will have kicked it off. So that's basically it. And once this kicks off, assuming master builds, what's going to happen, we can go find the last version, 6.15. It'll look like this. And you can see there's a difference in the UI right here. It shows that little tag instead of a commit, and that's because this is being triggered by the creation of a tag, which happened when we went to draft new release and saved it in the GitHub UI. And so when you look at this build, it's going to say tag version 0.6.16, and this npm publish step will be green, assuming everything else fixes, it passes, and then this is where, you know, npm deploys it. So at that point, we'll also update the site so that the default build on slash will point to 0.6.16. That's all taken care of automatically by add-on docs. And at that point, it should be good to go. So that's basically the process for releasing add-on docs. And again, if you have any suggestions on how to improve this or pointers on projects that are doing things differently or better, I'd love to hear about it. So thanks.